And joining me now, I'm very pleased to say, is filmmaker and also actor, Max McGee. Welcome
Thank you,
along.
Gary. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Listen, I'm looking forward. There's so much to talk about with you, and we'll get stuck into that very, very shortly. But I've been asking the listeners, Max, for their favourite quiet place here in London. I mean, you were brought up in and around northwest London, weren't you?
I was. Well, so funny you asked. My quiet place is about 5 minutes from here. I would say Regent's Park for me growing up is an integral part of my childhood, and I'd say probably the Rose Garden is such an amazing part of the park. Yeah. And not too many people that aren't Londoners would necessarily know about it. I mean, I think for me, Regent's Park has always been my favourite park. Yeah. Do you still get to visit? Do you still have the time? Do you still get there as much as you'd like as much as I can. I live in Islington, so I'm not far. Yeah. But whenever I have some free time on a weekend, I'll walk over there. And especially, from May up until about October, I think it's just absolutely stunning. Now,
I live in northwest London as well. I live in Maida Vale, and I walked in this morning. So I came. Yeah. This was about sort of 8 o'clock, 8:15. I walked along Hamilton Terrace, which I love.
Yeah, I know it well.
Envying those lovely big houses. Yeah. Walked along past Lord's Cricket Ground. Around the roundabout, past the mosque, and then into the park. I mean, Regent's Park, and I'm sure this could be said of so many parks across the capital, but Regent's Park at 8 o'clock, 8:15, there's no one in there apart from a few runners.
A few runners, a few cyclists, and quite a few ducks, to be honest. And they can be a little bit tasty in the morning if you're running past the water. They're quite
Have you experienced that?
I think so during COVID 5 years ago, I would go running a lot around Regent's. I mean, it was definitely a sanctuary then, and I think I noticed it with foxes as well. During that time period, animals became a lot freer, a lot more confident. Yes. So they're not timid anymore of humans. So if you run past them, well, they are so city friendly. Absolutely.
Foxes, they've got absolutely no fear whatsoever. Now, before we talk about this, this short documentary, The Knowledge, that I've so enjoyed. Give us a little bit of a flavour of your background. Your father is, photographer, filmmaker, Tony McGee. I mean, so was it inevitable that you were kind of going to get involved in the business in some
Was it inevitable? I'll be honest with you, Gary. I had dreams of playing on the Emirates, so that was really, for me, until I was 18.
It's
that
never
was
too late,
my
Max.
dream. It isn't. I still have dreams of scoring the winner in the Champions League final, but, don't we all? But I think I was always growing up with the image. I think the power of the image, and then I learned to develop a love for the moving image. Obviously it's just a collection of several thousand stills at once, right? A movie. And I think I finished school at 18, and I didn't know really what I wanted to do, apart from I knew I had two passions in my life: football and film. I've always had a real obsession with those two things from as long as I can remember, from the age of 3. So I went to university, I did a business degree, but I knew during that period that I wanted to go into film, and I was just figuring out my pathway. And of course, my dad being, the super supportive man he is, and the incredibly talented man he is, he had obviously shown me that it's possible. If you pursue a creative career, there's no necessarily a true blueprint that everyone can follow, but you carve your own way. And I went to drama school, came back from drama school I was in New York for a year. Came back.
That must have been a wonderful experience.
It was an incredible experience. It was, I auditioned for that school many times, and I got a scholarship to go, and it was a great experience, and I'm, really grateful to have had that. And I think I came back to London with high hopes and thinking I was going to go straight into the film industry, be the next Brad Pitt. And of course, I soon realised that's not how it works, and I think for good reason. You think you're ready at some points in your life, but you're not. I think, for me, it's always, I perceive it as, God's timing. So keep doing the work and it will come. And I think I wrote a short film, and I approached my dad and I said, look, I'm not really getting any work as an actor. Let's make this short, and we'll just you hold the camera, I'll be in it, we'll write it, small crew, let's do it around London. And we did it. We shot it around Moorgate. This was in December 2019, and it won an award in a festival. So everything, that was 6 years ago now, if you can believe it. And I think since then everything's just sort of snowballed. Then obviously COVID came, and I wrote 2 other short films during that period. And they also did well in festivals. And we packaged those 3 films, and we basically got distribution with Amazon Prime. So it's called the London Trilogy. And that was 5 years ago now. And so since then, it's really been upwards, which is amazing.
Well, tell us the role, Max, if you can, that the Capitol plays in this series of films.
So all the films that I've ever made have been in London. I mean, obviously there's a practical element to do with that, but London for me, I think shooting on location for the film is the best. You've got the most incredible set for free to use, and London is so rich in history, obviously, as we all know. And what I find fascinating is you can go 10 minutes around the corner in London. Not only is the accent different, but the way the architecture and the way the streets are built is entirely different. I think it's absolutely fascinating, London.
And I'm in complete agreement with you. I mean, I've had a few friends over the last couple of years that have moved down to the south coast. I mean, I guess as you get older, some people want to do that, but I personally can't imagine living anywhere else, and I'm always discovering new things. You talked about that period of COVID when we were in lockdowns and kind of coming out of it. Myself and my other half used to, on a Sunday morning, we would kind of go to a particular area and just go walk about. She's got the Blue Plaque app, so we'd kind of search out some of those houses that had those and grab a coffee. It was a great way of discovering the capital in another way. Let's talk about this film. Let's talk about Lawrence, the knowledge. So you tell us the inspiration for this. Where did it come from?
So both my parents are Londoners, but my mum's family in particular have lived in Holborn and Covent Garden for hundreds of years, so that alone is amazing. And there are many characters in that area, all my family members, and particularly my mother's uncle, a guy called Lawrence Ofer, who is an incredible character, who is on record the eldest black taxi driver in London. And he has a son who's also called Lawrence Ofer, who is also a black cab driver. And then he has a grandson called Lawrence Ofer, who's also a black cab driver. So you've got 3 generations of black cab drivers who share the same name and are all Londoners. And so the film is it's called The Knowledge for obvious reasons, because the simple fact that it actually takes more knowledge than a law degree to pass the knowledge, which is incredible. And it's about London, though, the film. It's about legacy. It's about how you pass this skill down to the next generation. And it really is a touching, moving story. And yeah, it was an honor to be able to share that story, to be honest.
I bet.
Yeah.
And that thing of cab drivers and their sons or daughters kind of continuing. I mean, that is kind of disappearing a bit now, isn't it?
Of course. I mean, we explore obviously how disruptive technology is. Uber comes in, but the film doesn't really focus on that. It focuses on the craft, and I think for me, the film was about. So it's a series of films that I've created called Unsung Heroes. So really, on a wider scale of things, this is the first episode of this series called Unsung Heroes, and my intention with it is to really highlight these individuals that make up the tapestry of London that aren't really in the public eye all the time, but they make the city what it is. And I think
they underpin it, don't they?
Black Cab Driver is really symbolic of that. Yeah.
I mean, tell us about Lawrence and you showing him the film for the first time and his reaction to watching it. What was that like?
It was incredible. So we had a family screening yesterday. So the film premiered 2 weeks ago at SIFF. It's a brand new film festival in London. It's called Cine International Film Festival. It was created by a film company called Goldfinch, and it's backed by actor Tamar Hassan, who's a great actor. And yeah, it launched there. I was actually away. I was in Japan. Working out there for a couple of weeks, but I was unable to see that premiere. So to have it yesterday for family, which is the most important one anyway, was amazing. And Lawrence was there. We had him in a Q&A afterwards, and he's got the energy of a 21-year-old, and he's 94 years of age. He's been driving a cab since 1959. He's been stuck in traffic longer than most of us have been alive. So he's an awesome guy. And then his son Lawrence as well, and grandson. But it was a very moving story, and he talks about his caring for his wife Sheila, who is the love of his life. They've been together for many decades.
There's some lovely pictures of the family in the documentary. Yeah.
And she passed away unfortunately a few weeks ago. So obviously the timing was important. It was a piece of history, that film, and it kind of showed the importance of family. And that was really important to me, and it was very touching. Yeah.
Well, you've absolutely nailed that. You really, really have.
You.
Max, it's been lovely to kind of meet you, and wishing you all the best with the knowledge. I guess the most important question is, where can people see the knowledge?
Yeah, so look, just to touch again on the series. So this is the first episode in the series. It's called The Knowledge. The second episode is on a film. My friend Reza Ali, he's a boxer. He's an Iranian immigrant that moved to London, and now he's hopefully going to be fighting for the British title. So that's another amazing story, and he's another unsung hero. So these collections of 5 30-minute films are really, I'm pitching them to certain networks, including the BBC, and hopefully it will be out at the end of the year, and it will be in and amongst 5 other amazing stories of unsung heroes in London. But at the moment, the film is going to be shown around several film festivals in London. So if people follow me on my social media at Max G McGee on Instagram, and Maximum Films is my film company name, and McGee Films is the family production company, you can see all the updates. But it will be coming out this year, and it's one to wait for. You've obviously seen it via a private link, but honestly, I'm so excited to share it with everyone.
Good.
The knowledge, yeah.
Well, I so enjoyed it, and it really is a great London story, and he really is, something a little bit special, Lawrence, a great London character. So again, if you want to find out more, go to McGeeFilms.com.
McGee Films, McGeeFilms.com and MaximumFilms.co.uk.
Listen, it's been lovely talking to you.
So much.
Thank you for coming in and giving us some of your time. And good luck to Arsenal later on this afternoon when they take on Newcastle. In fact, Bernard Butler's going to be our listed Londoner in the final hour of the programme, and I know that that's a game that he's going to be going to. Max, lovely meeting you. So much, Gary. We're going to play something a little bit special from an artist who we sadly lost far too soon a couple of years ago. This is the late great Linda Lewis and Reach for the Truth on BBC Radio London.